Pocahontas was born around 1595 and was the favorite daughter of a chief. She was a Powhatan Native American. Her father, who was known as Powhatan, was the leader of about 30 Algonquin-speaking groups that totaled a population of about 25,000. Each group had their own chief, but Powhatan was the chief of the Powhatan chiefdom. They reside in what is now present-day Virginia along the coastal plains known as the Tidewater, and the Tidewater is the shaded region in the map. The northern boundary was a river, and the southern boundary was a swamp. They call their homeland Tesenakamika. The Powhatan Indian groups lasted from 1570 to 1650. As for her mother, nothing was ever written about her. Pocahontas had many different names, just like many of the Algonquin-speaking Indians in Virginia. These names were to be used in various contexts. When she was born, she was named Amonte, but had a more private name of Makota. Because of Pocahontas' fun and playful personality, she earned the nickname Pocahontas, which means playful one. Her age is estimated based on John Smith's letters and shows that he is unsure of her age. Even though she was a chief's daughter, she was not treated any differently. She was raised just as any other female Powhatan. She learned how to forage for food and firewood, farm, and build thatch houses. She also contributed to the preparation of feasts and other celebrations. Making mats for houses, making baskets, pots, cordage, wooden spoons, and platters was other work that women did. In May 1607, a group of settlers came into the area from England and settled Jamestown, where Pocahontas liked to play. During this time, Pocahontas was about 11 years old. Over the next several months, the settlers had many encounters with the Powhatans while exploring the Chickahominy River. She befriended John Smith and helped him with the settlement. Pocahontas and her attendants brought food to the colony that often saved lives. In December, John Smith was captured by Chief Powhatan's brother when Smith and his men had gotten too close to one of Chief Powhatan's treasure houses. The warriors brought Smith to Pocahontas' father. He then sentenced Smith to execution by clubbing him to death. However, luckily for him, Pocahontas saves the day. As Smith tells it, he was brought in front of Chief Powhatan, 2 large stones were placed on the ground, Smith's head was forced upon them, and a warrior raised a club to smash in his brains. Pocahontas rushed in and placed her head upon his head, and convinced her father to stop the execution. Once Smith was returned to Jamestown, the Powhatan sent gifts of food to the starving English, which Pocahontas usually brought. She was a sign of peace to the English. During the winter of 1608-1609, the English visited various Powhatan tribes to trade items such as beads for corn. Unfortunately, a drought had caused dramatic reductions in the tribe's harvest. The English were demanding more food than the tribes could produce. Negotiations between the two groups did not go well, and soon their relationship started to deteriorate. In 1610, Pocahontas married a warrior named Kocoum, who might have been one of her father's bodyguards. Just like all the other women in the society, she was free to choose who she wanted to marry. A few years later, after getting married, she was captured by the English. In 1613, Captain Samuel Argall found out where Pocahontas had been living and knew that the relationship between the English and the Powhatan tribes was still not good. He tricked Pocahontas into boarding the ship and then held her for ransom. Argall demanded that the English prisoners be released and the supplies held by the Powhatan tribe. Powhatan released the prisoners but would not return the guns, swords, and tools. Pocahontas would not negotiate with the Powhatans because she claimed if her father loved her, he would have not valued her less than the old swords. She instead decided to stay with the English and was looked after by Reverend Alexander Whittaker. John Rolfe had come to Jamestown to grow tobacco. He was a Christian and had courted Pocahontas while she was in the care of Reverend Whittaker. Pocahontas learned the English language, religion, and customs. She was baptized and changed her name to Rebecca. Rolfe and Pocahontas fell in love, and on April 5, 1614, the two got married. The marriage led to the Peace of Pocahontas, which was a lull in the inevitable conflict between the English and the Powhatan Indians. On January 30, 1615, she gave birth to a son, Thomas Rolfe. In March 1617, on their way to Virginia, Pocahontas became ill and was only able to travel as far as Gravesend, which is where she died. They believe she died of either tuberculosis or pneumonia. She was buried on March 21, 1617, at the age of 22, in the parish of St. George's. Pocahontas may have decisively influenced the course of English settlement in the New World. Had she not helped preserve the colonies through the long winters, the English might never have colonized North America, and many Native American cultures might have been preserved from extinction. Americans of European descent regard Pocahontas as the savior of their own race and a foremother of the United States.